Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your week. I know there was a Monday episode that was brand new, but I recorded that last week. This is a brand new, we're talking December 26th. This is being recorded on December 26th. So we're talking about all the stuff that's happened over this last week that I didn't get to talk about on the show because I did a 4-part recap of the movie Home Alone with Annabelle Desisto. And you know what? I was like, you know what we need more of? We need more Annabelle Desisto. And I was like, this is perfect because we need to do a pop culture roundup. And Sophie's off this week. So I was like, who better than somebody that we couldn't finish an hour and 40-minute movie recapping? It took us 6 hours, but I swear to God, this is going to take an hour and 15 minutes because I got to go get fried chicken for my mom because it's one of her last meals before all the insanity starts with her treatment.
Oh.
What kind? Which we're going to talk about prison.
Okay, it's just like we say, it's one of her last meals before she goes somewhere.
Wait. By the way, this is Annabelle Desisto, you guys, from the podcast Adderall and Compliments. If you don't listen to our movie recaps, that's on you, man. But I just got to mention.
I'm going to say, then what are you doing with that?
And obviously,
days of your life.
Obviously, you've already turned off. But just in the midst of a Home Alone movie recap, we talked about.
I would say a Home Alone table read, which is what Ryan was the stage director of.
I was thinking about how many times we talked about My Bedwetting. We talked about Your Pet Psychic. We talked about the gay porn star named Ryan Bailey. We talked about so many things that
we talked about your penis tape.
Oh yeah, well that was part of the bedwetting. But guys, so I'm saying you're missing out if you're not listening to those. But what you don't know is Annabelle's a huge fan of pop culture, like all of us. We talk about a lot of pop culture in these movie recaps. So this is going to be the pop culture roundup of all the stuff that's happened in the last week. But first, let me check in with Annabelle. How was your Christmas? Did your mom like the saddle that you got her? That's not a joke. She really got her mom a saddle, I believe.
Oh yeah, and like a riding saddle, not like a sexual Sibian type Howard Stern thing, just like a riding saddle. I think she liked it. I mean, when Nancy has, her she has tons of really good pot right now, which was one of my dad's presents.
Yeah,
which is a present to all of us. Thank God.
You've always been open that Nancy is she's a proud, not I don't know proud, but she's she likes she's 420 friendly.
Oh yeah, no, she's incredibly proud. She's a huge supporter of the Devil's Lettuce. And yeah, she loves it.
By the way, why can't God get in on this marijuana business? Because it's always the devil's lettuce. Why can't it be affiliated with God? And so I feel like God is missing a huge opportunity here to really kick ass at weed, Yeah,
I feel like a lot of God's products are pretty lame. The people that say, "Oh, this is the devil's product," are much cooler.
Wait, why don't we have God's vodka? God, this shit'll get you hammered. This shit will get you heavenly hammered.
Oh, that's really good. I want real holy water. I want I really feel like you could do a whole rebranding. You could really help them, Ryan.
Do you know they're actually in the guest bedroom? My mom keeps a bottle of holy water that was sent to her from the Vatican. And by the way, I got so thirsty last night. I drank it accidentally. I was no, that's not true. That's not true. But
everyone knows that's a joke. Ryan does not drink water in general.
I drink Diet Coke. By the way,
there's water in Diet Coke.
Have you written your New Year's resolutions yet? Because by the way, you guys, I don't know if you know this, after December, the next holiday is going to be New Year's Eve and New Year's, and you usually have resolutions. What is your resolution?
My resolution is to really just go against all of my natural instincts, what I would normally do. How George Costanza's I'm just going to do the opposite, because being me has not worked for, like I said, a very young, 30s. If I had to do
everybody can see that. Everybody agrees.
Somebody asked me today and they're how old are you? And I'm birth certificate wise or mentally and emotionally, because all of these are different ages. And also how old are some of my body parts? These are all different numbers. This is lottery. They're all numbers all over the board. But yeah, my regular stuff hasn't gone well. So I think maybe if I just people are be yourself, and then in my case, I shouldn't. So
I agree with you, because the two times, I've said this many times, the two times everybody tells you to listen to your gut. And the couple of times that I've listened to my gut, I've been horribly wrong on those specific decisions. So it's like, I know that that's the case. Like, some people have a really good gut instinct and some people don't, but don't feel bad if you don't. Just realize that you don't, and don't follow that gut instinct. It's going to be like that itch you can't scratch, but you got to do it, because you're always going to fail if you follow your gut instinct.
Oh, I think there's a huge thing between like gut instinct and just like personality in general. No, like gut instincts, I feel like you're like should very much be aware of. Like, there is like a like little voice in my head, like very. I started the car. I started the car to like warm it up that I was going into, but I didn't like open the garage door before I did it. And so then, like,
and by the way, your parents are always worried you're going to harm yourself.
Yeah, and so like my charger. And I'm like, what do you mean? He like went upstairs, and I was like, I started the car to warm it up. He's like, you almost killed me. I went into the garage. I almost passed out. He's like, I thought you or your mother was in the car trying to kill yourself. And I'm like, what do you mean? She told me to warm up the car. And he's like, you're supposed to open the garage door first. And like, when I turned it on, like a part of me was like a little voice was like, oh, you need to like open like the garage, because that's how people like kill themselves. I thought that was like over a much longer period. I thought that would take like 24 like hours, 24 to 48 hours. Like, they don't teach you this in school. Like, they don't instead they teach you about like photosynthesis, but it's like, because of this, I told you I didn't know my gas. I had my gas leaking for like a week in my first apartment in Koreatown. And I just like, because it was like I was living by myself, that I was like, oh my God, I'm so disgusting that my place smells like rotten eggs. No matter how many like times I clean it, it just has this like horrible smell. And like, they don't tell you that that's like what a gas leak is in science. So like, I blame science class. So like, in that case, I should have listened to my gut. But
guys, check.
My New Year's resolution is to open a garage door before I turn my car off.
Here's my New Year's resolutions: no soda. So that's going to be a big one. No soda, no fast food. Change everything, become a completely different person, and that's body switching. I want to invent like a body switching.
Who are you Fridaying with? Like, who are you going to pee into a fountain?
I haven't found it yet. I think it's going to be like a split. It's going to be a last minute decision. It's going to be something like, I'll see a celebrity, I'll be like, now. Here's one: be nicer, which also then in parentheses I put kill less, because I think that goes along with be nicer. And then, of course, go to the gym more, because I think health is, I want to go to the gym more. I speak about New Year's resolutions because we got to start thinking about what we're going to do for 2023. But as we close 2022, we've had a lot of pop culture moments that have happened this year. And I was trying to even think in just the last week, we've had just more insanity, and I just can't wait to put 2022 behind me, because I was sitting there right before we got on. I was listening to Kim Kardashian, who was on the new Angie Martinez podcast. I believe she used to be a DJ on The Breakfast Club in New York, and now she has a podcast, and she landed the interview of Kim Kardashian. And I made Annabelle listen to a clip, and I'm going to put this clip in right now, and I want you guys to listen to this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, this is her, of course, talking about, in veiled terms, talking about, I believe, Kanye and how she deals with the kids and the situation. And I mean, what were your initial thoughts on this, Annabelle? Because I feel like this is a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. But a lot of it worried me, especially when she was like, well, I know all of their teachers at school, and I know exactly what's being told to my kids.
Yeah, that I thought was ridiculous, because I'm like, who are you, Rob DeSantis? You're in charge of like what they say at school. Like, are your kids homeschooled? Is it like the food god and Mario, your makeup?
She's like, I know. She acted like she had narcs on the playground. She's like, I have a kid wearing a wire that plays hopscotch with North. Like that, but didn't I know what
all of the kids are saying? I know what's happening at recess, and then like.
Those kids are robot. Those aren't even real kids. Those are 40-year-old little people dressed up as little kids.
I'm like, it's like girl from like Small Wonder of like, who are these kids? Like,
But how long? Like,
and Peter Dinklage is like, to think I went from Game of Thrones to this.
A kid but Kim pays better than Game of Thrones. I'm getting residuals.
Like, they have much more ridiculous like makeup prosthetics at that family than they do for HBO.
North is going to school with a dragon from Game of Thrones. No, but what scared me, because obviously my heart goes out a little bit to this, because it's like, wow, to deal with a father like Kanye, who's he's mentally ill. And I think we can definitely say that at this point, and also just hateful thoughts. But part of me was like, she was like, my kids will thank me one day. And I'm like, maybe, but also won't this bite you in the ass big time? The fact that you're controlling them so tightly that when they do find out, it's in a way kind of finding like that Santa Claus doesn't exist. I kind of kept thinking about that.
Oh, I think it's complete like bullshit. It's just like listening to her is a very like, this is the celebrity like bougiest like 0.1% of like every parent who's like, my kids would never drink or do drugs. My kids would never I'm like,
exactly.
Saying of like, no, they don't. I make sure I monitor what we're watching on TV. I'm like, what? Like, they have phones. It's like, unless you're giving them like those bubble gum phones, or like that you could like fake phones that you could get like at Claire's, or it's like, it's a step above being Amish of like, I make sure that like, you know, I monitor what they watch on TV, what they watch on the. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Angie even asked, well, you know, other kids. She's like, I know who they talk to. I know. And I'm just like, this is really wild, because there's so many things that go into raising a kid already. And there is no doubt in my mind that it's got to be insanely hard for Kim Kardashian, especially with the kids and the father they have, and also the life that she has. But this type of control, we know Kim likes to control things. I just think at some point it's going to bite her in the ass, because yeah, she is protecting them in certain ways. But even my question as somebody that isn't a parent is that, when do you know when not to protect them, when they need to start learning for themselves so they can be fully functioning human beings? And she also says, I just want them to be happy. I don't, you know, in the interview, I listened to the whole thing. She's like, I just want them to be happy, like, and do what they love. And I'm like, do you know that we're all not happy? Like, who the hell is happy? Like, give me like, you know, you don't like, if you're going to raise happy kid, you gotta let them know and by the way, they've got to know something's up when they hang with their dad. Like, they got to know.
As you're saying it, I don't want to, I'm going to say like, I sound like a celebrity version of like Alex Jones of like, they're crisis actors, but it would not surprise me.
They're crisis actors at North School. This is Alex Jones, and you know they're not doing it.
If Kris Jenner like hired a bunch of like child actors who like haven't like, who are like a step away from like, they can't get like Disney jobs or whatever, but she's like hired them enough where it's like kind of like Truman Show type thing.
Yeah, it's like the Truman Show. Yes,
they are completely like protecting her, or like in, you know, like in 50 First Dates, how like the dad's like, we just keep printing about like a bunch of the same, you know, newspapers. So like my daughter doesn't realize she has severe brain damage, and like this guy doesn't take a lot of advantage.
By the way, 50 First Dates, she's talking about the Drew Barrymore, Adam Sandler movie. The unofficial title is the Annabelle Desisto story. If you, RJ, her dad, he wrote the script for 50 First Dates. No, but she's exactly right though. There's a Truman Show element that is happening to their lives now, that all of like Chloe, Courtney, all of them, they know the real deal, and they know how hard life is and how hard it's like they've worked to get to the point they are. But it's like they're not letting their kids have the same experiences. And I feel like at a certain point, this is going to bite them wildly on the ass, because all it takes is one kid. Like, and I feel like it's going to be Mason Disick. I feel like Mason's going to step in here at one point and go, revolution.
Do you honestly? Oh, I think they like obviously know.
What do you mean?
Oh, there's no way they don't know their dad is like a fucking monster.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Like, I remember being young. Like, I knew when my parents were fighting. I could pick up on energy, and I think we all can. Like, you know, like, by the way, when Kanye, and this is no offense to Kanye, but when Kanye's picking up the kids to go to football games, you know, people are shouting shit at him. You know, people are like, and like, you know, he's going to lean down to him one time and be like, you know, we're all made from aliens, right? Like, you know, he's going to say something bizarre where it's like he comes home and tells his mom. But I feel like Kim's heart is in such the right place, but I feel like she's lost the plot completely, because you're not even living in the real world anymore.
No, it's like, there's no way that Kanye is able to pull off Ryan's like Hear Us version of like, it's not like Batman where he's able to completely do like a very convincing, like, this is a normal personality. Yeah. This is me being completely normal. I'm an appropriate human being. And like mental illness of like, as I'm severely mentally ill, you're severely mentally ill, like most people are, but I'm not like, here's my thoughts on this blank group of people of a religion. Like, it's just like, he's fucking insane. So it's not like he's like, all right, I'm going to turn that switch off. Like,
my thought is with the family, especially, is that, and I really do hope Kanye is eventually going to allow the help that he needs to be there. But it's such an important conversation, I think, for, not only the Kanye aspect in regards to the kids, but there is this mental health aspect that I hope, and I know she has to be, that Kim's going to be very aware of, because these things do get passed down. Mental health is something I take really, really seriously. And this is something that you do. This can be inherited. So these kids do need to be careful of, like, we've got to look for signs, and you want to make sure their happiness is, of course, key. But and Kim also admits in this podcast, she doesn't go see a therapist. And to me, that is wild. She's like, no, I deal with things head on. And I'm like, even that, I'm just like, man, at one point, and Kim even goes, I don't know why I'm blessed with being able to handle the shit I do. She goes, I tell my family all the time, thank God it's me, because you guys wouldn't be able to handle this shit. Which first off is like, stop riding your own dick, Kim. First off. Second off, like, one day you're going, it's like, it's gonna snap. It's gonna be bad. Like, it's going, like, the day Kim Kardashian finally snaps, because people can only take so much. And like, that's meant in a loving way towards Kim. I can't believe, like, nobody, you're not getting an Olympic medal for putting up with the most shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, cool.
Yeah,
well, here's $1 billion.
I just been like, well, I mean, they already have both of those in the family. Like, Caitlyn already has all the Olympic gold medals. She already has dollars.
By the way, and also,
like,
Kim
they're good. It's just like, one of the craziest things about that interview, I thought, was like, she's like, when my kids, I don't share that. It's like, when we're driving to school, when they ask to listen to his music, yeah, I put it on and we all sing along. And I'm like, what songs are you guys like? The only songs I like were on, like, the College Dropout, like Gold Digger and like Kanye's Workout Plan, and that's it. Those are the only songs that actually have words you can sing along to. Like, they're in the back, like, doing synthesizers of like, like, and then his like, what are you singing along to? It's not like the Bruno soundtrack. Are you kidding me?
I sent you these clips, but the whole interview, I mean, it's a little repetitive. It's like a lot of the stuff we hear Kim say all the time ad nauseum, but there is an interesting part too, where she says her and North will drive around and she'll just play rap beats without lyrics. And she goes, me and North will drive for hours and North will be rapping over the beats. And she goes, I secretly record it because it's our fun time and these will be memories. And I'm like, you secretly record it because you're going to sell it one day. You are going to sell this one day.
See, this is the carpool karaoke that I want to see.
Yeah. Like, by the way, Kim Kardashian's carpool karaoke, but there's part, because this is a Kris Jenner. This mine comes from Kris Jenner. And you're not telling me that she's like, just drive. She's like, Mommy, why do we take 10-hour drives every day? Until you get the album right, we're going to keep driving. But like, Kim's just going, oh, that actually works, North. Keep up on that beat.
Yeah, yes. I love that song. Do it again and angle your head this way towards my phone just for no absolute reason. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that car is like bugged and wired.
Yeah. Everywhere. Bravo TV needs to take note of the Kardashians' car situation, because the Bravo TV is very guilty of not having cameras how dare you, Bravo TV, have these reality shows and then you let these people go around and then you accidentally don't have cameras in all the places that the good stuff happens.
How did that hotel where Jay-Z and Beyonce had like the elevator fight, where that's of like, we get that clear as day, but Bravo, like, it's like a very private moment that wasn't supposed to go out to the public, like the elevator film. And this, you're filming a reality show for people to watch drama of these women, and you don't show when they are in a controlled area in a van that you specifically put them in. And we don't get that footage.
Congress needs to enact I'm talking all cars. If it's going to mean all cars, I'm willing to be videotaped in a car. But I feel like housewives, anybody that signs a contract for television, it needs to include car footage. and no, like it should be 24/7 car footage. And I think it's just going to help in a lot of situations down the line. I mean, also, we still don't know, and we're still fighting to this day, this not dumb, but this Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie divorce that keeps on going for the last, what feels like 20 years because of some fight that happened on a private jet. We also need cameras on private jets. Like, why does all of these things happen and then we never know about it? We don't even have a courtroom artist in these planes. We don't even have a drawing of Brad Pitt in a fedora drunk, like pushing, pushing Angelina Jolie. Like, this is so frustrating. I don't understand how we now have the most technology of all times everywhere. We have cameras everywhere, yet we still don't get any of the good footage that we all wonder about for the rest of our lives.
They have the smog checks and like everything with with the amount of like pollution that's put out. Like, I think the amount of like pollution and like whatever, like Carson's like science words like that go along with like carbon monoxide poisoning that I clearly don't understand. But like the amount of like stuff that like private jets are putting out, it's like, I think we should like have like whatever level that is that of like discussing stuff that you're putting into. I think that number should be the amount of footage that we get to have from said vehicle, like whether it's like a private jet or like a van. Like, I feel like we as because that's affecting our planet and you're affecting like our planet, like, I know emotionally, like what I've invested into Bravo, like I could have gone to college. I could have cured it like this.
That's a great point, because that's it. Us, everybody listening at home, we're all investing in Bravo. We're putting our hearts and souls in this thing. We're putting our hearts and souls.
It's a Ponzi scheme at this point. I put in so much work. Where's the payoff? Where is the payoff?
That would be great. That would be great if we find out Bravo is a pyramid scheme, and Andy, like, we get a letter in the mail from Andy Cohen in 2023 of like, if you could just sell this to 5 people on your block. Okay. We've covered 2 things, but I do want to cover one last thing. I know that people get annoyed about the Kardashians, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the Kardashians' annual holiday party that everybody talks about every year. This is from a Page 6 article. It says, inside the Kardashian-Jenner family's extravagant Christmas party. Now, Annabelle, what do you think of this? It says they celebrated with an extravagant blowout bash, complete with festive decorations, endless treats, and a private performance by Grammy-nominated artist Sia on Saturday night. Kim Kardashian showed up to the opulent evening wearing a silver sparkling gown that showed off her shoulders. And by the way, the Skim founder, 42, is now done from the bleach blonde look, and she is back rocking her long brown hair, Page 6 says. Kim posted several TikTok videos with her daughter, North. That's the family activity they like to do together. And everybody was dressed in red for the most part, except for Kim. But there were so many TikTok videos. And this poor Sia, they put this very talented Sia, who I know loves the Kardashians, they make her perform in like a Barbie doll box, like a life-size Barbie doll box. And they made
so dumb. Out of all the times I should have been wearing my Skims robe, I had this as a prop to put on, and I have missed it.
That's a Skims robe?
Yes. It is not worth the money, you guys. I just am telling you.
Wait, this is the, you can't see.
Oh, sorry. No, you're right. They put her in like a Mattel box.
Barbie doll box. Yeah. It's like so weird. And then little North is made to sing with her. And I'm like, listen, Sia genuinely loves the Kardashians. She talks about it all the time, but I don't know. There's something so weird to me about, you got Sia, and then you're like, oh, we're going to put North in here. Like, I like clothes. What is that? I'm North. Beep, boop, bop.
I think it's so funny that out of all the times, like, Sia doesn't wear like a wig that covers her face. It's like at the Kardashians' Christmas party.
Yeah, by the way, this could be Daft Punk for all I know. Who knows? But like this theme too was all red. And it looked like the fucking red wedding from Game of Thrones. Like, it did not look festive. To me, it's so red, but it doesn't look, like fun holiday red. It looks like dark. It looks like macabre.
It is. Yeah. It's, doesn't seem like a fun, lighthearted event. Like, granted, this would be like, I think this would be more magical to go to than like the North Pole. Like, I would rather, Kris Jenner has done more and given more to children than actual like Santa Claus has. Like she has made more magic happen than he has. And it's like their Christmas appear, like looks to me like if that was like the last thing I went to and been like, all right, this is like that to me is more glamorous than like the
by the way,
or anything.
All the kids and all that stuff, they don't get to sit on Santa's lap. They sit on Kris Jenner's lap every year. Like, tell Kris what you want. You're like, Mommy, I want 1 million followers on TikTok. Well, you'll get that if you're a little Kardashian. Also,
I
Khloe
really
Kardashian.
am shocked that she has not petitioned Christmas to start with a K. Like, like coming out with her own like Christmas like decoration line or her own like Christmas scent, or like.
Dude, I watched you. So Annabelle, we always joke because Annabelle, like, she's really selective on which movies she sees, and it's hard to predict. like you'd think, oh, she's definitely seen that one, and she hasn't. But have you seen? I know you've seen the Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Some of it, yeah.
Okay, well, I watched all the Santa Clauses this week. Santa Claus 1, 2, and I didn't even know there's 3. And now there's a TV show called The Santa Clauses on Disney Plus. And this Tim Allen, no offense, he's great as Santa Claus, but this guy can't act his way out of a bag. The thing is, doesn't need to, because he does what he does really well. He does this one thing really well, which is just like, hey, what's going on? Like, that's how he just says, like, I just throw away lunch. And like all these people are acting around him, and you can tell he's confused all the time, but he's like really charming at doing the one thing that he does, but it's really good at the one thing. But I was thinking like Kris Jenner, like I'd love to see a female Santa Claus, and she would be excellent. I think Kris Jenner could legitimately be in a movie. Like, couldn't you see Kris Jenner act? Like, because she does it on a daily basis. I
mean, Santa Claus, if they did a remake of Bruce Almighty instead of Morgan Freeman, put her in there. Like, she makes
wait. That's not even Annabelle. That's not even funny, because that could happen. That's a great idea.
I mean,
Kris Jenner playing God in a movie, that would be amazing. Khloe Kardashian seems like she's gained at least a couple feet over the years. She looks like 8 feet tall in these photos, and she's doing one of those things where she's extending her legs out in photos again. I don't know if it's like a face app thing. And she showed you guys her baby. We got to see the side of the baby's face in a photo. So she teased us with the half. Like, I love that. That's like what she gives us for Christmas. She's like, hey guys, I got you guys a little something too. Here's half of my baby's face. Like, isn't that weird? Like, because that, and people were writing like, oh my God, Khloe, thank you. And I'm like, thank you. What about like an Amazon gift certificate or something? I mean, what?
Think of like, hey, here's my baby that looks like every other baby. All babies, they all look the same. If like only you of like a baby with 3 eyes, and I'm like, I'm interested. Thank you for that. All babies, they look the same. Like,
the only difference with this baby is that you could tell it was there. You could tell who the father was, because the baby was looking at 2 other moms while Khloe was holding him. So you knew it was Tristan Thompson's baby. You knew it was Tristan Thompson's baby right from the get-go. There's no word if Tristan Thompson was at this party, but something tells me probably, because they don't really keep out the men in their life. Like, even when the men do bad things, it's almost like they're rewarded in the Kardashian land. Like,
so Tristan, you still think he got to be in charge of ballet?
Oh, Tristan. By the way, that to me is more fair punishment for what Tristan has made Khloe look like a clown over the last couple of years. If he had a valet the next like 10 holiday parties. And like Jeff Bezos is like, it's the Gulfstream jet parked down there. He's like, yes, sir. Yes. And Jeff tips him a 5 spot. He's like, thank you, sir.
What's Food God there?
Food God, I don't see any pictures of, but I feel like he had to at least work the catering, or, give it a chance to make some money. Kylie, and sorry guys, I'm so tired of Kylie's pose where it's just the dead face pose. You know what I'm saying? With the eyes, where it's like,
yeah, it's very they're like marble eyes.
Yeah, it's like she's trained to do this one look, and she's like, I've been told, like, she must have been told that this is her look, and I see her do it in every photo. But I don't know, everybody looks the same. And then I was just thinking, you said a moment ago about God. I was talking to my sister about God. She's really religious, and she says, we do have our physical bodies when we go to heaven, but it's like the when we looked our best. And I was like,
I believe that. Or better.
Well, wait, but Annabelle, here's the question, and especially I asked this with the Kardashians. There's no way they're going to let the implants up there. If you're going to heaven, God's not going to allow your implants up there.
Why? Because he's like, only my image.
Yeah, he created it. He's not going to be like, oh yes, and of course, Dr. Lenny Hochstein's boobs will come with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then, so it's not going to be everybody's best because Kylie's going to have thin lips. Kylie's not going to look anything like herself.
All right, then how does like the devil feel about it? Because I'm like, oh no, I'm going at my best makeup, like when my boobs were pierced, like when I was drinking like insane things to be like,
the devil.
Like, yeah, curdled milk to like lose weight. I mean, like whoever lets me be that's where I'm going. Like
the devil will let you come with the implants, but they melt. It's very hot.
I'm gonna get like breast implant poisoning.
They also said this year they're not giving gifts because they get so much during the year, which I also think is probably bullshit. They just tell the press that because there's not like, Kris Jenner's getting these, and also, but like, do any of these people, like, could you imagine? I want to be invited to one of their parties so bad because I would love to like go to like Chloe's birthday and give her like a $40 Amazon card and be like, wouldn't you just love to give her something normal, or like, oh, this is like a Dave and Buster's, like re-gift something to Khloe Kardashian of like, oh, you know why this is cool? It keeps your coffee warm,
I would love to see you gift her like so that there's like a big mouth Billy Bass. And her just be like, what? Like,
and the fish is like, oh, Macarena, hey, Macarena, hey. Speaking of Macarena,
kill it. I don't know what it is.
Because, by the way, the kids are so protected; they do not know what fish are. Oh, mommy, what? I just think it's too early for them to know about the sea. Speaking
like,
of,
that's what it looks like at Nobu. What is that? It's a monster.
Yeah, do they know where the food comes from? Okay, away from the Kardashians. Speaking of Macarena, did you know that Justin Bieber is nearing a deal for $200 million to sell all of his rights to his music catalog thus far?
To who?
So no, like this is done by a lot but usually it's done at the end of their career. Like David Bowie sold off all of his rights, but let me pull it up here. But yes,
I'm like very like confused of like what that, like I didn't really understand like what it meant, like when Taylor had to record all of her stuff with like,
yeah. So
like, I don't really understand. Like, so can you break it down in for layman's terms?
Okay, so they have put a valuation on all of his music catalog at $200 million. And now Justin is shopping that catalog around to see, like, does Sony want to buy it? Does Warner Brothers Records want to buy it? And then they'll have the rights to that so they can sell that off to movies, to commercials. You'll make your money back. But Wall Street Journal is reporting that he is going to potentially sell his recorded music catalog to Hypnosis Songs Capital for about $200 million. And it doesn't give many more details than that. But I always wonder about doing that this early in your career. Is it almost betting on yourself saying, okay, this is my first half of my career. It's gone great. I'm already going to sell that off. And now I'll be able to keep whatever, like it weirds me out. It's like, he doesn't need the money. So why not hold on to those things? Like Taylor Swift, she's very different in the fact that she wants all those. And when those got sold behind her back, she was livid because she would have bought all of those recordings and she wants control of everything. But Justin's going like, yeah, man, I don't want it. Like, you can have the rights to Baby. You can have the rights to Baby.
I admire of yeah, he doesn't need the money. Like, I admire that of I hope he doesn't come out with any new music. Like, that's why I don't understand of these stars who keep doing things. It's and Beyonce and all these people, I'm just listen, you've peaked. We've had you at your best. And it's also, I don't have any money and I don't want to work. So all these people who have billions of dollars, I'm why are you doing anything?
I am nearing a deal. I'm nearing a deal to sell my previous 400 podcasts for $1,000. It's going to take, I'm going to live pretty comfy with that for at least a couple days. And then you're going to know. I mean, it is interesting. I just get like, wow, wouldn't you want to hang on to that if you're financially okay?
Like that he won't, like that he can't, so does that mean he like can't perform them anymore?
No. He'll still be able to do concerts with him. He'll still be able to do that. So he's selling the rights.
Does he care?
That's true. I just wonder, like, he would be in control of where those get used. Like, what if there's like a horrible...
You feel like that Justin Bieber is like, I don't think that's quality enough for me. Yeah. Like, I don't want it used in a Dr. Pepper commercial.
Well, kind of. Well, what if they use like, wait a second. All right, I don't. The next 10 Transformers.
Use it in, Larry the Cable Guy 5. Like,
That's the worry. I wouldn't want, like, what the next 10 Transformers movies are all just wall-to-wall Justin Bieber song. I would hate that. I hate those Transformers movies so much. Speaking of Beyonce, though, she has her first concert set for 2023. She has not performed in years now, but she's going to be doing a huge show on January 21st at guess where, Annabelle?
Is it Coachella again? Is it?
No. She is going to Dubai. She is going to perform.
Okay.
The Atlantis, the Royal Resort. She only has to do a 1-hour set that will be followed by Swedish House Mafia, who are EDM, and fireworks on the beach. And she is reportedly, how much do you think she's getting paid for this?
$8 million. Did I lowball it?
$24 million for 1 hour.
Oh, fuck. I should have thought like Dubai money. Yeah.
$24 million for one hour. And what I would do is I would just do the slow songs. I would hold out all the notes. Hold out all the notes. Like, see how long she could hold a note for. I would just fuck around. I wouldn't practice.
$24 million for an hour?
$24 million for an hour.
Oh my God. I would literally do unspeakable things for 24 hours for just like literally 1 million or 1,000. I like literally have to like of just an hour for 24 million. Oh my God.
I mean, do you think like other musical artists are like, what the fuck? Like, oh wait, speaking of musical artists, do you mess around with TikTok at all, Annabelle? I don't think you're on TikTok, are you?
I have like 3, but like it's embarrassing. My therapist has more TikTok videos than I do. And she's like, Annabelle, you really need to be on TikTok. I hired a
wait, guys, to catch everybody up at home. To catch everybody up at home, if you don't listen to us regularly, Annabelle I don't think goes to a real therapist. I think there's like, this is some kind of fake therapist she goes to. Your therapist is encouraging you to get on TikTok. Your therapist is saying, you should get, what you'd like is TikTok. Your therapist says.
Cynthia has a very active TikTok. She has way more likes
sure
than me.
She does.
I have 3 videos and only 2 of them were of my horses. And then 2 of them were my horses. And then I just reposted, like I posted like the, Patti LaBelle, like that, performance of her at like, the national tree lighting ceremony where she like doesn't know the words, and it's 2.1 million views.
Wait, you did a TikTok with 2.1 million views?
I like posted a performance of somebody of like Patti LaBelle and it got 2.1 million views.
You should rebrand to just a Patti LaBelle account.
Patti LaBelle stand. Oh my God. I would love it if I could try one of her pies. Remember, she like came out with
holy shit. Oh, John Bon Jovi dead at 60.
Are you serious?
No, but that's a TikTok trend that's going on right now. Just fell right. That's the TikTok trend. There is a TikTok trend going. I know. No, I'm told, but you just fell for it, Annabelle. This was a TikTok right here. This is a TikTok trend, you guys. It's horrible. If you're on TikTok at all, and now stars are speaking out against it, where you'll go to your parents or your friends and you'll be like, oh my God, Tucker Carlson, or this and that. And their parents will be like, what? And they'll freak their parents out. But it's one of the meanest TikTok trends I've ever seen, because some of these parents lose their shit. They're like, Oprah Winfrey dead. And like this one lady was like crying. And I don't know why people are doing this, because even to me, I mean, I'm kind of a snarky, mean guy at times on this show. And even to me, I was like, this is mean as hell. And by the way, I just got you.
You are not a mean guy, Ryan.
Yes, I am.
You
How
are
dare
you are like ABC Family mean.
No,
And
no,
I mean that
no.
is like you are not a
Go
mean
to your
person.
room, you trollop.
Yeah, like of just like, oh gosh darn it. What the frick?
I'm totally
no,
mean.
You are not well, I guess it's like compared to me. I guess I'm just like you're so no, but you are not
Look
a
how
mean
many
person.
crosses my dad has.
Oh no. Oh Ryan. Oh no. I had no idea your house was so Jesus-y.
Yeah. So
It's
this
like
TikTok
you're like
trend,
living a Hobby Lobby.
this TikTok trend is really like you've got to go on TikTok. Like I've watched so much TikTok over the last week, unfortunately, and this trend I just don't get. And now stars are coming out and going, "What the hell? This is really me."
Well, the thing is, it's like I think TikTok is like it's a lot of like terrorizing like family. It's like, or like when they terrorize their kids of like, I stole all your Halloween candy, or like this is gone, Santa isn't coming, and they like get to profit off of like their kids freaking out, and then it's like imagine like I'm just putting it down. I'm like, I'm just kidding. I used you to get 10 likes.
Oh my God, there's this one that got millions where it's like there's this creepy elf on a shelf thing that's got invented since I grew up, where this elf gets put out every night. You parents have to do this, and you have to put the elf in a.
I think the
elf is always watched.
Yeah,
the elf is always watching.
He sits in the corner,
and there was like this screaming video of these. They couldn't have been more than 5 years old. These girls are screaming bloody murder, and the mom's like running down like what, but she's running down with her phone recording, and the kid has the elf on the shelf on the hand, and you're not supposed to touch her, and it's like he fell. They think they killed the elf on the shelf, and these girls are like bawling and crying, but at the same time the mom's filming it. Like the mom is like filming this reaction. And I think that's so interesting that we do terrorize our children and our parents now, and we want it on video. I do it too. I mean, I do it with my parents all the time.
Oh, I thought it was way more innocent than what I thought was going to happen. I thought they were going to come in and that the elf on the shelf would be like boiling in a pot of water, like the bunny in Fatal Attraction. Oh, it just fell off. I feel like the mom could have done way better. You know what I would have watched? An elf on the shelf boiling in water. So that
Hey, if you guys next year, if you don't have kids, do this to your loved ones. Get an elf on the shelf for your boyfriend or girlfriend, and just have it like show up in weird places that your boyfriend or girlfriend is. Like have it in the toilet, or have it like up, like looking like an up, like the elf on the shelf got an upskirt shot of me last night. Like put it at your loved one's office. You know, just like places that it shouldn't be. You know, like oh my God,
make everyone feel like Aaron Andrews and just like tape your elf on the shelf like to like a peephole.
Or the elf on shelf is like Mark Wahlberg in Fear. He's looking out the window, and the elf is like,
Just like it's like supposed to be like cute when it's like a little thing, but it's like when it's like a bigger size doll, like Annabelle the doll, they're like like it's I don't know. It's like we're very like this is like sizeism that we're spewing in Hollywood. It's like if it's small and thin, it's an elf, it's cute, but it's like if it's a bigger doll, it's a problem.
Okay. Speaking of kids and parents, though, I do want to ask what your definition is. And I don't know if you've heard about this. This exploded over the last week because of an article in Vulture magazine. What is a Nepo baby?
A Nepo baby to me is somebody who already has like an in, or already has like way more opportunities. Like as soon as it comes out, like the birth canal, they already have like more connections than most people who have been like in Hollywood for years, or like trying, like once they've ruined their mom's vagina, or like their surrogate's vagina, whoever it is, like they are like already have like at least like 5 guaranteed auditions, no matter what. Like they are already first in line to be a Gerber baby above everyone else.
Annabelle is completely right. Vulture magazine put out this big article with many like sub articles and all of this stuff about Nepo babies. And this is just kind of pointing out that most people in Hollywood that this is not even 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon anymore. This is literally 1 degree is usually somebody in the industry. And that's how potentially they got their leg up. Now, I do want to say this. I'm not a Nepo baby, but I will say the things that I've had happen to me, like even on TV, they didn't give me the part, but I got an audition for How I Met Your Mother because I knew the casting director. I knew that, it's all relationships. I was on, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, even if you're not born from, like, the things that happen in life are
I thought you were
usually
going to say, because
somebody's.
like Bill, because like Bill and Becky had like,
No, dude, I
wanted,
had no, the
like,
one
hookup.
connection I had in Hollywood was that my dad's brother, who's passed away, rest in peace, Uncle Dale, he was a lawyer, and he supposedly knew somebody that worked on Law and Order, and he asked me for my headshot when I first moved to LA, and I gave it to him, and guess what? Nothing ever happened. Like it was like,
never called you.
No, I don't even know it was Dick, but it was like, oh, okay. And then I just never heard any, like, I didn't hear like heads or tails from it. It was like, that was the one connection I had, and it did not mean anything. But this Nepo Baby article, which I strongly urge everybody to read because it's just funny. But what's funnier is the stars' reactions to this. If you want to really get under a Nepo Baby's skin, is call them a Nepo Baby, because these Nepo babies have gone insane this past week. If you go digging, this U2 Bono's daughter, I believe her name's Allie Hewson, she's livid. She's like, well, you know what? The owner of Vulture is a Nepo baby. And the owner of and she's like boiling mad. She's like, I'm not even that successful. And then even Jamie Lee Curtis hopped in on it because she, of course, is a Nepo baby as well. And she used to admit it because she's the daughter of Tony Curtis and I'm sorry, the other beautiful.
Oh my God. How do I?
Not Tippi Hedren. Who is why am I blanking on this? Is so okay, wait, Jamie Lee.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the name. Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, she even did a post about her. I'm going to read the post in a second. I'm just trying to find Jamie's mom's name, but both parents were famous, and that's why she got the movie Halloween, because her mom was the actress in Psycho. And she's like, of course, like they're going to want to hire, Janet Leigh. She was the woman that got murdered in Psycho, spoiler alert. And she was a beautiful woman. And then her dad was Tony Curtis, of course. But even she did an article or an interview decades ago where she said, yeah, of course I had a leg up there. Are they going to give the movie Halloween to just a girl off the street? Or are they going to give her with somebody that her mom is known for, one of the most famous horror movies of all time? And she didn't have a problem with it then. But by the way, Jamie Lee Curtis having the best year ever. She did the Halloween movie. She came up with the chic scene in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She has the chic wind chimes, they were like, chic. Oh, how chic. And she did Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is a fabulous movie. But this is
and
her
she's married to Christopher Guest, who is hilarious.
Christopher Guest is one of the funniest dudes. I think he's very serious in real life, but his work is so funny.
He's so smart. Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis writes, I've been a professional actress since I was 19 years old. So that makes me an OG Nepo baby. I've never understood, nor will I, what qualities got me hired that day. But since my first 2 lines on Quincy as a contract player at Universal Studios to this last spectacular creative year, some 44 years later, there's not a day in my professional life that goes by without my being reminded that I am the daughter of movie stars. The current conversation about Nepo babies is just designed to try to diminish and denigrate and hurt. For the record, I have navigated 44 years with the advantages my associated and reflected fame brought me. I don't pretend there aren't any. That tried to tell me that I have no value on my own. It's curious how we immediately make assumptions and snide remarks that someone related to someone else who is famous in their field for their art would somehow have no talent whatsoever, which is not what the article's saying. I have come to learn that is simply not true. I have suited up and shown up for all different kinds of work with thousands of people, and every day I've tried to bring integrity and professionalism and love and community and art to my work. I am not alone. There are many of us. There are many of us dedicated to our craft, proud of our lineage, strong in our belief, in our right to exist. She says, so in these difficult days of so much rage in the world, can we just try to find that quiet voice that the brilliant movie Everything Everywhere All at Once reminds us, as my friend Rob Reynolds' studio reminds us. Note to self, be kind. Be kind.
Wait, did she get a movie plug in at the end? Was that?
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She did. She did.
That was. She's acting like she's like fucking Braveheart of like Nepo baby, of just like all of them of like number one, doth protest too much of like okay, like,
Nepo babies are going to war.
Serious,
dude. That's a signal to Nepo babies everywhere. I think they're going to come. This is worse than the Taylor Army. Nepo babies if Nepo babies start turning against us, I mean, that's a rallying cry. I think General Jamie Lee Curtis will head up the Nepo baby army, but guys,
like nobody's trying to prosecute you. Nobody's trying to like. It's also they're acting like this article like they've uncovered like secret information. This article is just like a public 23andMe of like none of this is like deep dark secrets. They're just like, oh, we're just like if people have gone on everyone's Wikipedia, this is it.
Yes.
Like,
wait. The article does not say that these people don't have talent, which by the way, in fact, I think it's one of those things too, is that if you're born from somebody there, like you don't inherit their talent, but you're more likely to be able to access artistic abilities and things like that. It's just a known fact. It's just like, Little Northwest rapping over rap beats in the car with Kim Kardashian, but I think this is hysterical because all the Nepo babies seem to take this as this mean thing when I don't think like it's what you said. It's just like a fun party. It's a party trick. It's a party game.
It's just like, it just gets you like, and like opening of like the door. It's like, just because you're like, and you have to be okay with it. And there's like nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean just because you are a famous person daughter that you will like, kid, that you would automatically be successful. Is Chet Hayes, winning any BET awards? Oh. No, but it's like, you already have more attention than like anyone else. Like it gives you like an opening. So like to think that kill, like Bono's daughter is like going in and like smashing all his sunglasses. I'm like there of just like jumping on all of them. Like what?
I would kill. I will say this in all seriousness. I would kill to be a Nepo baby. I would love to have a leg up. I would kill any of
those children to take
their. Well, okay, here's the deal. This article is this article just kind of points out even the fact like Ben Platt, who is in Dear Evan Hansen, his dad is producer Mark Platt, and his dad was the producer on the movie Dear Evan Hansen, which is probably a bad thing because he shouldn't have let his 40-year-old son play. I was going to say, and that's movie,
why right? It was like a version of like, it was a real life version of like Steve Buscemi of like, hello there, fellow kids. But it's like, that's why I've never been a fan of like the Mara sisters. Of like, your family is but what the Kate and Rooney Mara.
Oh, Mara. Oh yeah, because the football the dad owns the football team.
They own 2 football teams. And not like,
I think that's unfair to football
like
owners.
The Jacksonville, like not just like Jacksonville Jaguar and like that. Don't they own like the Steelers and big, like very big teams? Like
I just don't see that. Like, listen, like who cares? It's so hard in Hollywood anyways. I would love if Judd Apatow was my dad. I would love it. But like the funniest part of this thing is that these celebrities, like these Nepo babies, seem to be really butthurt about it. And that's the funny part about all of this, because I don't think it's saying that none of these people are talented. It's just saying that this is a common fact.
They own the New York Giants.
I'm trying. Wait, you mentioned Chet Hanks a second ago, and Chet Hanks, of course, is the son of Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson. Which, by the way, did you know this? A couple of weeks ago, I read an article. Chet Hanks did a podcast where he talked for the first time about he was sent to one of those wilderness training camps, like Paris Hilton was, and he talked about one morning. Yeah, Chet was when he was a teenager. He said, one morning, I wake up 6:30 a.m. There's a bunch of like dudes in military garb surrounding my bed, say, come with us now, or we will make you come with us. And like, I was like, what movie was Tom Hanks filming when like they ransacked his house with his son? And I'm like, no, but you think about it and you're like, how dark is that? Like Chet Hanks, like you're like Tom Hanks, Mr. Like his like son getting taken out like Paris Hilton to a wilderness training camp.
And
Because he
Colin
was
was
abusing
not with
cocaine.
him, I assume. Colin was just like going to like, ooh, they just took him.
I wanted to get your opinion on this too, because you did live in Hollywood, and this is not, this isn't a joke actually. So Annabelle, I'm not making a joke about this, but you've dated comedians in the past, or you've like, and this is not a joke, but do you know this comedian Chris D'Elia?
Oh yeah, I have I always said, because like I used to be like I was like at comedy clubs like a lot, like between like 22 and 25. Like because like all of my friends at the time were like stand-up comedians, like not big stand-up comedians, but like that's the first thing I did when I went to LA. I needed a way to meet girls. And so I saw an all-female comedy writing class, and I was just like, that seems like a
Oh, was that one lady that always does it? What's her name?
So I will not give her any.
I know who you're talking. I know who you're talking about.
So it's like so then the people who I met like were all like the friends I had like were all female comedians who like really wanted to like me. So I spent a lot of time there. And Chris D'Elia, like at the time it was like the Whitney show, and like, you know.
Yeah, he was the male lead on Whitney Cummings' failed sitcom Whitney.
Like he's very tall, which is like, you know, rare for male comedians.
You ladies and these fucking tall guys, man. So it's wild.
Tall, and he kind of looks like a mix of, you know, Ted Bundy and Sam the Eagle from, you know, the Muppets. Sure. And so it's like he was like attractive, but I will say it's like, and I've always said it like that, like on my podcast or whatever, of like, and it was like a joke between me and my friends of like, he would always look at me, not in like, I'm like, he would always look at me like,
yeah.
Like he looked at me as if like I had gone to a party at his house and he knew I had stolen something. Like it was not a good look. It was just like a very intense, like staring, where one of my friends was like, what the fuck did you do to Chris? And it was just incredibly uncomfortable. I think because like I never went up to him, like I never said anything to him, which like I think he was like waiting for me to, where like he literally, I was in a conversation with somebody and he just like came and stood there, like stood next to us and like started talking to that person, and like, cause like they knew each other, like he had known this girl for a while, and just like never said anything to me, but just like stood there the whole, it was just like an incredibly like awkward. So then I'm just like, this just like went on longer, because I'm like, now I'm for sure not going to say something. But it's just like, he had sex with one of my friends, and she was like of age. So it's like, but she said he was like incredibly like paranoid of like, are you recording this? Are you recording this? Like, are you recording? Like, of like, are you like, he was like very paranoid about like being like secretly recorded, like almost like for like revenge porn, where like my friend like be like, no, why would I be recording you? Just like if anything, he was one of the lowest people she's ever slept with. So honestly, it would be embarrassing for her at that point. But it's like, I did not have any like positive experience, but I had no idea he was like,
so
what he was.
Well, that actually leads us into, so there is this YouTube, it's an hour-long documentary that got dropped 6 days ago called The Chris D'Elia Problem. And I think this is worth you guys checking out. Like it's an interesting bunch of interviews and firsthand accounts from some of his victims. And, he also got caught with this and, quote unquote canceled, but he's not, because he's selling out comedy venues again and all of this stuff. But
and
he has a wife.
Nepo baby. Which is
he is a Nepo baby. He has a wife and a kid, but this also documentary gives proof that he's still kind of doing the same behavior. And this was also, this was like I also have people that I know that he messed around with in the exact way they talk about in this documentary. And he did the one thing of, did you just take a picture of me? Delete it. Did you just take a picture of me? Delete it. Delete it. No, I saw you do it. Delete it. Like he was that. And he would always, and it was like right before his stand-up show, he'd get these girls wasted. Like he was like obsessive. And it's, I'd heard this story before I knew any of these other stories. I heard this story years ago. And then you hear all of these other stories and you're like, holy shit, it really was a pattern with this dude. And the thing is, he lied and said he was doing the work. He's in therapy. He's not doing this stuff anymore. But obviously it seems to be that doesn't seem to be the case. But as always, like I tell everybody, watch for yourself. I'm going to do an episode probably just on this later next week with Sophie because she had a lot of strong opinions on this as well.
His dad was like, when we say like Nepo baby, his dad was big producer in Hollywood, and his dad directed a lot of 90210 episodes.
Oh, now don't ruin something that I hold dear to my heart. That I didn't know that. He did. But Annabelle, you can speak to this a little bit because I think people don't realize what it's like to be a young woman in Hollywood when like guys really aren't. By the way, guys aren't on their best behavior at all times anywhere in the United States of America, it seems like. But in Hollywood, especially, there is this kind of pattern of behavior of guys really targeting women in a certain way. And I think it's especially scary now because when you add Snapchat onto it, Instagram, Twitter, all of these social media things where it gets even scarier for me. Do you have any thoughts on this? And I know, like, listen, I know I'm not, because I know you were very particular about who you dated and all of this stuff, but you saw a lot of behavior around you because you did hang out with a lot of people that are pseudo well known. It's
ridiculous of what they think they can get away of, just even the lowest brow. I will very brief, like I will do like the Cliff's Notes version of I never like went out to clubs ever. Like I was like, even just
it wasn't
like,
your thing.
I was just like semi lame. I'm like, I don't even like not even like a Sam's Club. Like I was not a club person. Like I just was just like always incredibly like awkward. But I went out with one of my girlfriends to this club, like Colony, which, like, as you know, has changed like names like a bunch of different times.
Yeah. That's the thing in LA, you guys, it'll be the same clubs, but they'll change names every like 4 years. So it's like Jet into like it's like what was like all the dumb club names like Brett Bolthouse's clubs and all of this is so dumb.
So like we went there and everyone is like very tiny and like everyone's like Courtney size and I'm like Chloe size compared to everyone else, like when heels. And so the only person who's like my like height to like make eye contact with is like this really big bouncer. Like, so he like came over and he's like, hey, you want to go up to the table? You want to go up to the table? And like, this was like, it was like almost closing time. And so like, there was like a table with like velvet ropes around it. And he's like, yeah, he wants to invite you and your friend over. And so who it was who I know as, like Adam Chandler Jr. on All My Children, also known as Jesse McCartney, who came out with Beautiful Soul.
Who had very bad skin problems as well, if his acne. Who
like I thought as like a proactive, survivor that we would, have something, that.
Wait, what happened to Proactive real quick? I know we're jumping up, but like, did Proactive just get legally shut down? Because remember we'd see those commercials all night, every night.
Yeah, like starting at like 12 a.m. It was like the Proactive.
Like, guys, I put a full sheet of acid on my face tonight. I'm Kendall Jenner. Okay, sorry. So you got pulled over by Jesse McCartney to this section at a club.
So he like the bodyguard brought us over and there was like a bunch of girls like on this like little like elevated like platform. It's like a little elevated step with velvet ropes around it. And Jesse's sitting there fucking like holding court, like he's like Hugh Hefner, like first season of Girls Next Door. He's sitting there and the bodyguard goes, "Hey, Jesse, what do you think?" Like gestures to me. And Jesse McCartney, I realized that this is like an audio version, but he literally just went, he looked at me and Ryan, he went like, I guess.
Like, hey, he goes, slim pickings tonight. Hey, bouncer.
Yeah, he just like, he literally looked at me like, I guess. Like literally, like if somebody's like, we don't have Coke or Diet Coke and we're out of Pepsi and Diet Pepsi, would you, all we have is like vanilla cherry Diet Pepsi. Is that okay? And you're like, I guess this is the only thing that in tap.
He's like,
he literally did not he was like, and I was like, at the time, I was like, I don't even trust. And so like, it was like closing time and they're like, And Bonnie goes like, oh, we're having an after party. Like we're having an after party at Jesse's house. So you got, if you come, you have to know what's involved. And I was like,
he's like, hey, you have a vagina, right?
Like, and I was just like, oh, like what's involved? He's like, well, when you party with Jesse McCartney, you don't say no, you have to be up for it.
Oh,
like, and I'm like, and he's just like, you need to be up for everything. If you're partying with Jesse McCartney, you need to be in. And I was like, oh, I am very much out.
I'm sir, I'm out. I'm out.
Fucking Jesse McCartney, number one, barely wanted to have me. I was like a chair, like a pity, like, okay.
Could you imagine hooking up with Jesse McCartney and he's kind of like, he's like, I guess I got to. Oh man.
Like it was just like the most like not even like lackadaisical, but like negative, like I guess. And I was like, no, I was like, I don't. He's like, you just have to be up for anything. And I'm like, oh, if Jesse McCartney thinks he's like Jesse McCartney thinks he can have that type of power, you're not even Leonardo DiCaprio. I've not even seen a dinosaur, like T-Rex skull fossil.
Dude, there was, okay, I mean, this is like, okay, so I used to be in like this acting class. I mean, this is now, God, this is like 12, 13 years ago, but I was like, they were well-known actors in this class. And I remember this one guy, this one really like a decently known actor, his like cell phone. And this was like before, like, this was like one of the first iPhones or whatever. Like, it was like, I was sitting next to him and his phone kept like not dinging because we couldn't have sound in it, but like he kept looking over and I would look over his shoulder and like, it was literally 3 different girls sending them pictures of their vaginas. And I was like, hey, and he goes, and I'm like, is that your girlfriend? He's like, nah, this girl wants me to come over. And I'm just like, I go, you see my photos. It's like friends are sending me photos of Batman. And I'm like, wait. And then by the way, and he goes, yeah. Like, and by the way, he showed me his text. He wasn't even asking for them. Girls are just randomly sending them. I'm like, you're just getting random vagina shots. And like, and we're not even, it's like 7 at night. This is 7 p.m. at night. And I'm like
how people send you memes. They're just sending him like pictures of like their
I can't memes. And I'm like, and by the way, this was an extremely good looking man. Like, but it was like, but in my head, I was like, that's how I pictured his life being already. I just pictured him just like, it almost seemed like he was like bothered by it. I'm like, oh God, another one? Like
another one. It's like, when those like companies, when you sign up for like 15% off and they just ask for your email and you're like, what email? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, the guy's like opt out, unsubscribe.
They ask for your like phone number and then that's how you really get it. And then you're, and it's just like hot topic. I bought one Hocus Pocus shirt. Stop. Like when I think I'm like really blowing up, I'm like, oh, like somebody's really texting me. I'm like, oh no, it's still hot topic. And I have to write back stop. And they just like, will not stop. They are very persistent.
Yeah. It's so, it's weird. It's weird, the behavior, I think. I don't know. So it'll be interesting. I want to talk more about this at a later point, you guys, but I wanted to make you aware of it so you had time to watch it before we talked about it.
I need to make you aware. It's like you too also could take a picture in Jeremy Piven's kitchen. When somebody was like, why did Ryan? I was like, they're like, Ryan didn't post the pic of you in front of Jeremy Piven's microwave.
Okay, so as we start winding down here, you guys, this has gone way too quick. But I did want to talk about a holiday story that kind of made, it's nice, I guess, but it kind of made me sort of jealous because I was like, what the fuck is going on? I always get fixated on this of prison meals during the holidays in the Slammer. Because the TMZ does these articles every year, and it was like R. Kelly, the Duggars, Ghislaine Maxwell locked up for the holidays, but still eating good, TMZ reports. And they did the worst Photoshop of all of these people. And I wanted to walk you through what some of these people got for their holiday meal. Here's what the celebs chow down on December 25th. Now, Joe Exotic from the Tiger King Netflix documentary that we all watched during COVID, he's at the FMC Fort Worth, and he got baked Cornish hen, tofu fried rice, bread pudding, heart healthy carrots. I love that they specify heart health. Okay, good. Heart healthy. I was worried. Chicken gravy, bread and butter, fruit, and holiday pies. So that's pretty good.
Wow. They have a more elaborate menu than most of us had for Christmas.
Yes.
And we are not under like.
I've been talking about this more and more because of the Jen Shaw stuff. I did a whole episode on Jen Shaw's prison thing today. And I talked to somebody that was in prison a couple weeks ago on the show. And like, I gotta tell you, like it's like all pointing towards like, go to prison, Ryan. Like there's
Honestly,
like good
it's just
shit.
like, if it weren't for the not having pets part, like, and most people disliking me, I would have been like, yeah, it's like, at least listen, you have a hot and cot and you have access to like dental and medical. Like my primary care doctor has been the CVS Minute Clinic since I left my pediatrician. Honestly, it seems like a better system.
My sister's a nurse, and she was telling me about like, oh yeah, like, they'll bring in prisoners sometimes and they have to like first procedures and stuff. And I'm like, wait, who pays for the procedures? Like prisoners get to like they have insurance in there? Like how do they get anyways? Okay.
I'm like, oh my God, I get to like a rapist has better dental than me. Unfair.
Okay. Josh Duggar, that Duggar kid that did all the horrible shit. He got herbed Cornish hen. By the way, the prison loves hens. Herbed Cornish hen, glazed ham, veggie stuffed peppers, veggie lasagna, broccoli, cheese and rice casserole, mashed potatoes, chicken gravy, corn on the cob, cranberry sauce, rolls, and holiday pies. What?
Are you sure like the Cornish hen isn't just like a fried pigeon? Like
I'm
that.
Sure, wait, listen, like, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure none of these are like.
I'm sure it's like seagull or whatever. But
Annabelle, for me, it's always quantity over quality. For me, it's like this sounds like a lot. I like it. This sounds like a big menu. I like it.
I just cannot believe the variety.
No.
Like more variety of like than what we have. Like how many dish options did you have at your house?
We had 4.
You guys are like peasants compared to the prison system.
We ain't living high on the hog.
I was going to say, you look like the orphans in Oliver. I'm like, please, sir, I want some.
Please, sir, may I have an ounce more of candied yams,
I want some health, hearty carrots.
Now, Jerry Harris from the Netflix docuseries Cheer. Did you ever watch the reality show Cheer on Netflix about the cheerleaders?
No.
He was the male cheerleader. It was horrible. But they got glazed Cornish hen too, beef sirloin steak, broccoli quiche, baked candied yams, cornbread stuffing, collard greens, chicken gravy, cranberry sauce, rolls, fruit, and pies.
Honestly, I right into Ryan if you had a better, more variety, variety than any of these people, because I doubt it.
R. Kelly in the MCC Chicago got.
Can I guess what he had?
Yeah.
Poutine.
Yeah. He had a little pee, a little baked Cornish hen, green beans, cornbread dressing, eggplant parmesan, mac and cheese, and sweet potato casserole.
Wow.
Now, Ghislaine Maxwell from Jeffrey Epstein fame. She gets Cornish hens, stuffed green peppers. Okay, that's green peppers are not the good peppers. That's dime a dozen. Garlic mac and cheese, Brussels sprouts, sweet potatoes, rolls, cranberry sauce, red velvet cheesecake, and fruit.
God, if my dream pal, if only I could eat like a sex trafficker. Woo, I'd be high on the high. I'd be living the best life.
In addition to this grub, the facilities are giving out holiday themed bags to inmates filled with more snacks, puzzles, and even some games. So they potentially made out better from Santa than we did.
Fucking foster kids just make a fake shiv, out of, aluminum foil. And if they give you pencils, enough, and like do it 3 times, this, honestly, wow. Oh my God, they get like basic little stockings. They got puzzles.
Prison is so nice that the Kardashians are going to do their annual Christmas party there next year. Like this is, and they say, and then TMZ goes on to say, not saying these celebs deserve activities, but billiards tournaments, chess, bands, and bingo are just some of the things going down for the holidays. And then Fetty Wap, who's a rapper, his facility is even hosting a talent show on Christmas. And then they go, but that sounds like an unfair advantage for the rapper because he'll like win. What if Fetty Wap doesn't win his prison talent show?
And then he gets longer for murder.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah. By the way, the winner of the talent show goes free, so it's a really big no.
What is Fetty Wap in there for again?
Let's see. I don't know actually.
Is it like text debate? What is
I
Fetty
think
Wap saying?
I don't know, Annabelle. He had a really big hit song. Fetty Wap is in prison. Oh, Trap Queen. Weeks number 2 on the US Billboard Hot 100 charts. Okay, he's in. Okay, he has 1 count of conspiracy to distribute and possess controlled substances.
Oh, that's nothing. That's unfair.
Yeah, drug charges are weird. It's the drug charges.
Drug charges are not like those are not okay.
I think those are. I think that kind of stuff is changing. I think that kind of stuff is actually changing in America.
That's so fucked up.
And by the way, this is a messed up joke because the prison system is wildly, wildly unfair and does need to be revamped.
Like, I don't understand. It's like so he's like, you can't do that. That's like cruelty. And I'm like, whatever. Okay. Like, it's okay. But like, I don't understand like why, because like the prison obviously is like so fucking messed up. I mean, if we've listened to Kim, we know what's happening. But like, literally, I'm like, I don't understand like why you just can't like volunteer as like a cosmetics tester of like, instead of doing like animal testing of like, why don't you test out like on a real person? Then I'm like, yeah, if I can get like a year off, knocked off my sentence and I'm like a male and you like just like put different mascaras on me to see like what gives me pink eye or blow up, like, why would you do that? Like, why are you still doing animal testing? Like test it on like a real person.
Test it on Annabelle, dude.
But just like, please send me free products. But like, but I don't understand. I'm like that. Or what I also think, it's like, I think anyone who is like a sex offender or like animal, like cruelty person, I think we should be able to do like to them, like what they've done to people, like repeatedly. Like, I think like women, like, I think they should put a bag over the person's head so he can't identify anyone. But I think like women's self-defense classes should be able to use him like as like a dummy, like have him tie. Like, I think like try them on like a real person. And like, once again, like he'll have a mask on so he can't like, attack any of these women later. But like, I think, yeah, like what he gets Cornish hen and like I don't get to attack him. That doesn't seem
no. Fair. And you know what? I will say this the other night. Well, so Christmas was down at my sister's place and she had like, we had really a beautiful, like, some kind of like a roast, I think, and mashed potatoes and mushrooms and carrots. And it was a great meal. And then on Christmas Eve, my mom does
carrots or just regular carrots?
Yeah, not heart healthy, very heart bad. But for Christmas Eve, we do finger food. So we got sushi from Freier, the grocery store. And my mom,
I've never heard of Christmas sushi.
This was the first year we've ever done it. And it was
how'd it go?
Grocery stores. It was good. Well, my nephew Connor, Connor, I weigh so much more than him. This guy can take down like 24 sushi rolls. Like this kid is 13 or 14 years old. He's taking down like sushi roll after sushi roll.
Why did you act like he's like one of those like guys in like a hot dog eating contest of like he can take down 20. Oh,
it was like Kobayashi. He was like that. Yeah. Are
you kidding?
But I had to be like, I was like
Juliana Rancic, who's like, oh, that's a lot of food.
I was starting to feel threatened, and I was like, is going to be enough sushi for everybody? And I was like giving them dirty looks, and no, but it was just funny when I'm like, I was like, wait a sec, I'm supposed to be the overeater in the family, and now this kid's coming in, and he's out drinking me on the soda. And this guy's drinking full calorie soda. I got him a mini fridge. I got him a mini fridge for his room to put soda in. But then I watched him the other day. I watched him pound a 2 liter of Pepsi, like full calorie Pepsi. And he just kept pounding it. And then he had to complain to his mom because he gave himself a headache from drinking that much sugar. And my mom was like, my sister was like, this is what I told you. This is what I warned you about. So then I was like, I was going to get him more soda for his mini fridge that I got him, but I just got him Pepsi. And then I got him that Liquid Death water, the fancy spring water from the Alps. It's called Liquid Death. Have you ever heard of it?
What? No, I thought you were talking. I thought it was like you were making a joke about like black water from the Manzos. Like,
the BLK water.
Yeah. Like, what is
it's called Liquid Death. It's because it's death to plastic cans. It's in a can. It's in like a soda can. It's like a tall boy Go look it up. Liquid Death. It's really fancy water from the
So
Alps.
it's death to bottled water?
Yeah, so it's in a can, so it's like more for the
So
environment.
it's like not like so it's but why would it be in a can that like wouldn't they be in like one of those like like the water and in boxes that like look like milk boxes, but even though I know that it still reminds me of like it just feels like it would taste like milk, even though I know that there's just water in it, but that boxed water, like isn't that supposed to be like better for, but it just reminds me of
you
water.
want it. Oh, I mean you
I saw
you
like
want to see
Harry drinking it one time, like when I went into Swingers Diner and he was sitting there drinking like boxed water. Drew Carey. Drew Carey.
Oh, you want to see you want to see somebody sad, like you want to see a kid's face go sad, is have him open water on Christmas. I got him this Liquid Death water and I had to explain that it was water, and like you could just see him get.
Why would you bother like wrapping that? Like why was that a gift?
Well, Annabelle, I also got him a mini fridge. It was to put in a mini fridge. It was also to be healthy so he doesn't drink so much soda like his uncle, like me.
How old is he?
14.
Okay. I'm still curious of why you think 24 sushi rolls is a lot.
Okay. Anyways, well, that is the pop culture roundup.
I said, like,
you guys.
Wow.
I'm going to go pick up fried chicken for my mom from Winco in Gilbert. Put her in your thoughts this week. We're starting.
Wow. I looked up Liquid Death. This looks like it's drank by like Sons of Anarchy. This is not what I thought Liquid Death.
It's hardcore. It's hardcore water.
It's a black can with like, and it's written in like that old like English writing, like that old.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's cool.
And it's Liquid Death with like a skull that's melted. Literally,
exactly. This is the way to get kids to drink water.
This is hardcore. Oh, it's sparkling water.
Thank you.
So this is like a hardcore like LaCroix.
Yes, it's going to make water cool again.
So is like LaCroix is like that for old people? Is that like the AOL of?
Listen, you're too old. You're too old to even understand this conversation. You're too old. You're too out of touch. Liquid Death is where it's at.
Take your LaCroix back to MySpace. And then like, gladly will.
Take your LaCroix back to Friendster and call it a day. Annabelle, Adderall and Compliments is your podcast. You guys go subscribe. What is coming up on Adderall and Compliments this week? Or what can we look forward to in the new year? You just have to subscribe, you guys, and rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But is there anything coming up to be aware of?
Hopefully I can guilt Ryan into doing an episode.
Gotta go. Gotta go. Voices raw. Because
we keep like saying we're gonna split up the episodes, and then like I don't want to like torture all of the baddies like with all of it, you know, like I want
we'll do the next one. We'll do the next movie one on yours. But I do gotta go because this is my last.
Thank you for letting me do this, baddies. I appreciate you sending like not a lot of hate mail about me being on, or at least not tagging me in it, which is like still just as good to me. So thank you for being
guys, and stop tagging me in the hate mail. It's not. It's
so not I love you, Ryan. I love you.
Love you, Annabelle.
Bye.
Okay, and you guys really keep my mom in your thoughts this week, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday. Wednesday. Okay, bye guys.